But first tonight to a community living in fear of growing gang violence on its streets and where residents are demanding action to bring it to an end.
Yes, they're currently speaking to police and politicians at a meeting at Arbourthorne in Sheffield tonight after a 12-year-old boy was injured and needed surgery in a drive-by shooting earlier this month.
It was the latest in a series of attacks there which have prompted people to declare that enough is enough. Kate.
Well, next tonight to the incredible legacy of rugby league player Danny Jones, which has potentially saved the life of a young player at the very West Yorkshire club the Welsh international was playing for when he died from a heart attack.
Yes, Danny was only 29 when he collapsed minutes after being substituted during a game.
And the rugby league's decision to introduce mandatory screening in the wake of Danny's death mean that current Keighley Cougars player Jordan Aitchison has been diagnosed with a heart condition he's had since birth, but he knew nothing about.
Well, Jordan is putting his playing career on hold to have treatment for the condition, but he does hope to be back. He's live with our reporter. Well done to Lizzie and all the work that she has done over the years. Well, still to come on Calendar tonight. The government has been urged to improve safety on so-called smart motorways following deaths and serious accidents since they were introduced.
Well, next this evening to the plea for change from families across the Calendar region as an investigation finds a quarter of parent and child parking bays are being misused by drivers.
Yes, researchers say common excuses include wanting to park closer to the entrance and being unable to find another spot.
But one child seat safety group has hit out at those breaking the rules, describing their actions as dangerous. Here's Matt Price.
Well, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Mary Nightingale. Now, 2020 is set to be another huge year in the world of sport, with football's European Championships in June and then the Olympic Games in Tokyo later in the summer.
Well, our region is once again being tipped to contribute heavily to Great Britain's medal haul, and two of them could of course come from the same family.
We are of course talking about the Brownlee brothers from Leeds, who firmly put triathlon on the British sporting map. Tonight they're up in Skipton at the opening of a new gym, and our sports reporter Chris Dawkes caught up with them. Thank you, Chris. They're looking good, yeah.
Not too bad at all after a 100k bike ride as well.
Not bad.
Now, we all like a quiz, don't we? Here's one. No goggling, googling, whatever you do, or you'll have points deducted. Who was the last person to walk on the moon?
I might phone a friend on this one. John?
Easy, Jeans.
As said, the UK government's now giving our space industry a big boost in funding. Private companies appear to be ahead of the game, and it's hoped today's school children could be inspired to be the astronauts of the future. Here's Nidhi Rajan. Oh, well, our spaceman's here. Finally, to the real-life supergram from Barnsley, who sprang into action when someone tried to sell her a stolen bike.
Yes, 72-year-old Mary Parker's suspicions were aroused when a man walked into her son's antique shop. Here's Sam Casey.
Well done, Mary.
Wouldn't
Take
mess
some
with
guts.
her. Wouldn't mess with her, would you? Not at all. Woof.
No, but she sorted it out and he got his bike back.
That's a good result for everyone in the end.
Here's our John. Thanks very much, John. That's it from us. Our next update is at 10:30.
The national and international stories are next with Mary Nightingale.
But from all the team here on Calendar, thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.
Good night.
The latest report taken to an East Riding Council meeting this morning has found that at its worst point, up to 30 feet of land has been lost to the sea in the last year.
But perhaps the worst news is for Rose residents of Green Lane in Skipsea, where council officers are asking them to move and demolish their homes as soon as possible.
Government policy prevents sea defences around smaller villages, but councillors today demanded compensation for those at risk. Here's Helen Steele. Well, still to come, the murder squad detectives appealing for information about a man whose body was found in Boston 10 days ago have released a photograph.
Now, next this evening, hundreds of thousands of women across our region are missing out on potentially life-saving tests by failing to take up screenings for cervical cancer.
The alarming figures have been released as part of Cervical Cancer Awareness Week, which is urging women to keep their appointments, which can identify the disease at its earliest stages.
One young mother who had to have radical surgery after she missed numerous appointments is urging others not to make the same mistake. Lisa Adlam has the story.
Well, next tonight, the government has been urged to improve safety on so-called smart motorways following deaths and serious accidents since they were introduced. Well, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Mary Nightingale. Thank you very much, Mary. Well, next tonight, the plea from families across the Callander region as an investigation finds that a quarter of parent and child parking bays are being misused by drivers.
Yes, researchers say common excuses include wanting to park closer to the entrance and being unable to find another spot.
But one child seat safety group has hit out at those breaking the rules, describing their actions as dangerous. Here's our reporter, Matt Price. Well, Matt joins us now. Now, we all like a quiz question, don't we? So here is one. No checking on the internet. No checking. No checking, Matt. No checking, John.
Right.
Or you'll have points deducted. Who was the last person to walk on the moon?
I'd like to phone a friend. I'd like to phone John Mitchell. John Mitchell, do you know?
Easy, Gene Cernan.
Yes, actually, it was Eugene. Government is now giving our space industry a big boost in funding. Private companies appear to be ahead of the game, and it's hoped that today's school children could be inspired to be the astronauts of the future. Here's Nithya Raja.